Humans were the galaxy's Orcs, brash, brutish, and so utterly illogical that even logic-based weapons couldn't fuck with their minds. Wayne Cox awoke with a start, a throbbing headache pulsing behind his bloodshot eyes. He fumbled for the bottle of cheap whiskey on his nightstand, only to find it empty. "Fucking perfect," he grumbled, tossing the bottle across the dimly lit room. The urgent message from the Galactic Council flashed on his comm screen, demanding his immediate presence. Wayne knew this was no ordinary summons. For them to contact a human, and a mercenary at that, meant the situation was truly dire. Stumbling out of bed, he donned his powered armor, the heavy plates encasing his muscular frame. The armor, scarred and pitted from countless battles, hummed to life as he activated its systems. With a grunt, Wayne set off for the Council's headquarters, his mind already racing with the possibilities of what awaited him. At the headquarters, Pixis, the Tzenkethi diplomat, greeted Wayne with a mixture of desperation and disdain. The slender, blue-skinned alien quickly briefed him on the situation. A rogue scientist, Dr. Xyloth, had stolen a prototype weapon capable of devastating the Tzenkethi population. The logic bomb, as it was called, targeted the logic centers of their brains, inducing paralysis and death. But for humans, with their notoriously irrational minds, the weapon posed no threat. Wayne was the Council's last hope, their only chance to prevent the catastrophic loss of countless lives. The stakes were high, and failure was not an option. Pixis handed Wayne a dossier on Dr. Xyloth and the logic bomb. The scientist was brilliant, paranoid, and utterly ruthless. Intel suggested that representatives from several dangerous factions were already on their way to the lawless planet of Necros, eager to get their hands on the weapon. As Wayne prepared to depart, Pixis fixed him with a piercing stare. "The fate of billions rests on your shoulders, human. Do not fail us." Wayne met the alien's gaze, a smirk playing across his rugged features. "Failure ain't in my vocabulary, Blue Boy. I'll get your logic bomb and make sure that bastard Xyloth regrets the day he fucked with the Galactic Council." With a final nod, Wayne strode towards his ship, his mind already formulating a plan to navigate the treacherous world of Necros and secure the deadliest weapon the galaxy had ever seen. It would take all his strength, cunning, and the sheer illogical audacity of the human spirit to emerge victorious. But then again, that's what humans were known for, achieving the impossible, no matter the odds. Wayne's ship touched down on the cracked, uneven surface of the Shadowtown spaceport, kicking up a cloud of toxic dust. The planet's hazy atmosphere cast a sickly green tinge over the ramshackle buildings and rusted ships that dotted the landscape. Wayne stepped out, his powered armor hissing and clicking as it adjusted to the hostile environment. He made his way through the winding streets, ignoring the suspicious glares from the assortment of aliens and criminals that lurked in the shadows. His destination was a seedy bar known as the Rusty Reactor, a haven for black market dealers and information brokers. The bar was dimly lit, the air thick with the acrid smoke of exotic narcotics. Wayne approached the counter, where a surly four-armed Korgath was polishing a grimy glass. "I'm looking for information," Wayne said, sliding a stack of credits across the counter. "I need to find Dr. Xyloth." The bartender eyed the credits greedily, his four hands deftly scooping them up. "Word is he's holed up in an old research facility out in the wastelands. Got a bunch of mercs guarding the place. That's all I know." Wayne nodded, turning to leave. As he neared the exit, a group of heavily armed Tzenkethi thugs blocked his path. "What's your business here, human?" the leader demanded, his hand resting on the hilt of his plasma knife. Wayne's mind raced, calculating his odds. He was outnumbered and outgunned, but he had one advantage, his human unpredictability. "I'm here to buy the logic bomb," he said, his voice dripping with confidence. "My employer is willing to pay triple the current highest bid." The thugs exchanged uncertain glances, clearly caught off guard by Wayne's bold claim. That moment of hesitation was all Wayne needed. In a blur of motion, he drew his plasma pistol and dove for cover behind a nearby table. Plasma bolts sizzled through the air as the Tzenkethi opened fire. Wayne returned fire, his enhanced reflexes allowing him to pick off the thugs one by one. The firefight was intense, the bar patrons screaming and diving for cover as stray plasma bolts scorched the walls. When the smoke cleared, Wayne was the last one standing. He winced, clutching his side where a plasma bolt had grazed him. The wound was superficial, but it served as a stark reminder of the dangers that lay ahead. With his cover blown and multiple factions now aware of his presence, Wayne knew he had to act fast. He set off into the toxic wastelands, his powered armor struggling to filter the corrosive atmosphere. The terrain was treacherous, littered with jagged rocks and pools of bubbling, noxious sludge. As he navigated the hostile landscape, Wayne couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. Little did he know, a cloaked figure was tracking his every move, their intentions as yet unknown. The toxic winds howled across the barren wasteland as Wayne trudged toward the abandoned research facility. The trek had been arduous, and his damaged armor was on its last legs, the power cells nearly depleted from the strain of filtering the corrosive atmosphere. As he neared the facility, he spotted a dozen well-armed mercenaries patrolling the perimeter, their energy weapons glinting in the sickly green light. Wayne knew he wouldn't stand a chance in a direct assault, not with his armor in such a sorry state, but he was human, and humans were known for their ingenuity in the face of impossible odds. Ducking behind a jagged outcropping, Wayne hastily jury-rigged an EMP grenade using parts scavenged from his armor. It was a long shot, but it was his only chance. With a grunt, Wayne lobbed the makeshift device toward the facility's generator. The grenade detonated with a blinding flash, sending a massive power surge coursing through the building. The mercenaries' energy weapons sputtered and died, their comms reduced to static. In the ensuing chaos, Wayne made his move. He charged into the facility, his armor barely holding together, as he engaged the disoriented mercenaries in close-quarters combat. Wayne fought like a man possessed, his unpredictable human fighting style and sheer tenacity catching the mercenaries off guard. He smashed through their defenses with a flurry of bone-crunching punches and kicks, his movements a blur of speed and raw power. Wayne battled his way to the heart of the facility, where he burst into a large chamber. There he found Dr. Xyloth standing before a group of potential buyers, the logic bomb clutched in his trembling hands. Among the gathered representatives, Wayne recognized members of the Zorgath Syndicate, the Krell Empire, and even a delegate from the Galactic Council itself. Xyloth's eyes widened in panic as he saw Wayne. Without hesitation, the scientist turned and fled, the logic bomb still in his grasp. Wayne gave chase, barreling through the remaining mercenaries who stood in his way. He was so close, he could almost taste victory. Just as Wayne cornered Xyloth in a dead-end corridor, a cloaked figure materialized from the shadows, blocking his path. The figure threw back her hood, revealing herself to be Arya, a Tzenkethi assassin. Her cold eyes locked onto Wayne as she spoke. "Hand over Xyloth and the logic bomb, human," Arya demanded, her voice as sharp as a razor. "The Galactic Council hired me to eliminate them both, but they also want to study the device for their own purposes. Don't make this harder than it needs to be." Wayne's instincts screamed at him that this was a double cross. He had never trusted the Council, and he sure as hell wasn't about to start now. "Not a chance, Blue," he growled, his grip tightening on his plasma pistol. "I'm not handing over shit until I get some answers." Xyloth, caught between the two, began to tremble violently. His hand hovered over the logic bomb's activation switch, his eyes darting back and forth between Wayne and Arya. The standoff was tense, the air crackling with the promise of violence. Wayne knew he had to think fast, or this whole mission would go sideways in a hurry. "Tut!" Wayne's eyes snapped open, the harsh glare of sterile white light stabbing into his retinas. Pain racked his battered body as he tried to move, only to find himself strapped to a cold metal bed. Alien medical devices beeped and hummed around him, their purpose unknown. "You're awake," Arya said flatly, standing at his bedside. Her steely gaze bore into him, devoid of warmth or concern. Wayne yanked against the restraints, gritting his teeth. "What the fuck happened? Where's Xyloth, the logic bomb?" "Xyloth is dead," Arya replied, her voice clinical. His mind couldn't handle the backlash from the logic bomb's destruction. You've been in a coma for weeks, Wayne. Necros's atmosphere nearly killed you. Wayne's head spun as he struggled to process her words. The Council, did they get the bomb? Arya's eyes narrowed. The Council never intended for you to destroy it. They wanted it for themselves to study and replicate. Her voice dripped with disgust. Your mission was a ploy, Wayne. They used you to do their dirty work. Rage surged through Wayne's veins, temporarily numbing the pain. The Council had betrayed him, sent him on a suicide mission. And for what? Power? Control? I'm done with their lies, Arya said, her jaw clenched. I'm going to expose their corruption, and I want you to join me. We can bring them down together, Wayne. Wayne barked a harsh laugh. And why should I trust you? Because right now I'm the only ally you've got. Arya leaned in close, her breath hot against his ear. You can either join me and fight, or go back to being the Council's lapdog. Your choice. The weight of her words settled heavily on Wayne's chest. His entire world had been upended, his faith in the Council shattered. He had nothing left to lose. Fuck it, he growled. Let's burn it all down. Arya's lips curved into a razor-thin smile as she released his restraints. Wayne sat up, his head swimming, his body screaming in protest. Alarms blared through the medical facility, a robotic voice announcing a security breach. Arya tossed Wayne a pulse rifle, her own weapon already in hand. Time to go, she said, kicking open the door. Council security forces flooded the hallway, energy weapons blazing. Wayne and Arya dove for cover, returning fire with a hail of searing plasma bolts. The air crackled with the stench of ozone and charred flesh as they fought their way through the facility, leaving a trail of smoking corpses in their wake. They burst into the hangar bay, a sleek black ship waiting for them. Arya sprinted up the ramp, Wayne close on her heels, his lungs burning with every ragged breath. The ship's engines roared to life as they strapped in, pulse fire pinging off the hull. As they rocketed into the void, leaving the Council's forces far behind, the truth of Wayne's mission crashed down on him like a ton of bricks. He had been chosen not for his skills or resilience, but for his expendability. The Council had never expected him to survive. Wayne's hands clenched into fists, his knuckles bloodless against the controls. Rage and betrayal coiled in his gut, hardening into a cold, unshakable resolve. He would make them pay for their lies, for the lives they had destroyed, no matter the cost. Together, he and Arya disappeared into the inky depths of space, their stolen ship swallowed by the endless expanse. The Council would soon learn the price of their deception, as the truth Wayne and Arya carried threatened to unravel the very fabric of galactic order. In the shadows, unseen forces stirred, drawn to the growing chaos like moths to a flame. The galaxy teetered on the precipice of change, and Wayne and Arya now stood at the center of the maelstrom. Fugitives, renegades, the last bastion of truth in a universe built on lies. Their fight had only just begun. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.